We hear from people that they want to change the world, of course, with a positive intention. However, is it possible to change the world for good? Let's find out from today's verse 29 from Taoteching. Hi, welcome back to Oneness. Today is day 29 and we will be looking at verse 29 from Taoteching. So as usual, let's observe a few seconds of silence. Thank you. So now let's look at verse 29 from Taoteching. And by the way, for today onwards, instead of me reading complete words, let's go line by line and interpret as we read. So that way it reduces the time of this video. I hope it should be okay. Do you think you can conquer the universe and improve it? I do not believe this can be done. So the first two lines, Laotzu clearly says that if the humankind or we people think that we can conquer the universe and rule it, that cannot be done. The way the nature works is completely massive that we human beings can't even perceive the massive majestic of the universe, let alone the earth. And we know from the past history of the humankind in this earth that there are a lot of empires, the great empires fell. For an example, in India, it is the Chola Empire that fell. And whereas across the world, if you look at the great empires like a Persian, Greek or Roman Empire, they all fell. And even the civilization, they fall. For an example, you talk about in India, the Indus Valley civilization, or you talk about Mayans or Incas, all the civilization as well, over a period of time, they fell. So that shows that the impermanence of the human beings in this planet Earth. Whatever we do today, over a period of time, it can vanish from the history. And that is the nature of the earth and the universe. The king comes, king goes. Ruler comes, ruler goes. Any government comes, government goes. There is nothing permanent. Everything changes. With that, let's look at the further verse. The universe is sacred. You cannot improve it. If you try to change it, you will ruin it. If you try to hold on to it, you will lose it. Here he talks about the universe and he says that it is sacred. So how do we see this? So to understand about the sacredness of the universe, first let's even think about our earth. Our earth rotates at the rate of 1,000 miles per hour. And of course it revolves around the sun at the speed of 67,000 miles per hour. Just imagine 67,000 miles per hour. And actually, literally, we are on top of a flying stone. Literally. Just imagine 67,000 miles per hour. The earth is revolving around the sun. And yet we don't feel the consequences. And when you're talking about our earth, that is a rate. Now let's look at the universe. The universe is unimaginable and uncomprehendable by a human mind. That is why there are so much of a science, and every single day we are trying to experience and explore the vast, majestic thing of the universe. So, and that is also, and the universe also expanding at a rapid rate. So it is sacred. And if you try to possess it or try to conquer it, it is not going to happen. And of course, the humankind want to colonize the Mars. I don't know how it's going to be, but then that is another small step for a humankind to go and colonize another planet. Let it go as it is. The universe knows how to take care. And then the words goes like, so sometimes things are ahead and sometimes they are behind. So how do I see this? Sometimes things are ahead, sometimes things are behind. So to understand this verse, we should all allow our natural self to flow. Sometimes we are ahead of someone or some situation, and sometimes we are behind someone or some situation. And how is that ahead and behind comes in? It is by comparing ourselves and judging our own progress. If I compare myself with someone else, that may seem like I'm either falling behind or I'm ahead. It depends. But then that we should not take it personally. And that is how I see in this line. And then it goes like, sometimes breathing is hard. Sometimes it comes easily. So here, instead of thinking of breathing, let's talk about meditation. I'm sure if you have tried meditating, the first few times or it is difficult. Our mind wanders off. It doesn't come. And sometimes when you are in a tired state, you can easily go into the meditative state. Or if you're just trying to meditate early in the morning, it is much more easier. It can go effortlessly. You can get into the meditative state. And sometimes the thoughts goes on and on and on and keeps us away from a meditative state. Allow both the ways, either to be or not be. Sometimes there is strength and sometimes weakness. Here Laotzu means by strength and weaknesses. It is our human nature to feel strong sometimes and feel weak sometimes. For an example, when you're doing some workout or exercise, if you're doing it every single day, someday you're going to feel tired and you want to rest. And sometimes you're super energized and do more and more and more reps. So it is completely the human body. It is such a way that we will feel strong and sometimes we will feel weak. That is completely okay. Allow the nature to flow. Listen to the body and take what he wants, to rest or to work out. It's up to you. And then sometimes one is up and sometimes down. All I see here is the ups and downs is the nature of life. So to understand this ups and downs, let's talk about the childhood. So there is a study in which they said that in a childhood, what we lack or what we miss the most is what we pursue in our future. If a child lacks money, health, or a wealth, or it can be anything, even it can be love, then all possibility that when they grow older, they pursue what they lacked when they were a child. It can be love, it can be money, it can be anything, it can be health. They take it seriously and they go behind it. So all those things, what we missed, we pursue. So what we felt as down, we may get it in abundance later on. So that's a way of up and down. All the situation, whatever we faced, be it be up or down, and that is what led us to this moment that we are in. We should accept it gracefully instead of judging it and blaming the situations. Accept whatever the situation we are in with complete gracefulness. And final words are, therefore, the wise avoids extremes and excess and complacency. So here he means is, instead of being in any extreme, we should try to be neutral. Instead of giving up to the strength and weakness, allow yourself to be neutral and accept yourself when you feel strong or when you feel weak. Like how our breath goes effortlessly in and out, accept ourselves when you're meditating, accept the state of thoughtfulness or mindfulness or mindfulness. It's up to us. And finally, try to be neutral. So this is what verse 28 talks to us about. So with that, we come to an end of verse 28. So one actionable thought for today is, today, observe your own self. If you come across any news that disturbs your thoughts or mind, catch it before even you act. When I say catch it, try to find out what is that news is triggering within you. Is it anger that is coming out of you or helplessness? Instead of being in both the sides, allow and trust the nature and tell to yourself, it's okay, I feel that anger or a kind of an emotion which I feel that I should act, and I allow myself to do what it comes. Instead of forcing yourself to angry and complaining, accept it and find it and tell yourself that the universe has a peaceful way to come and act through you. So that way you become just a tool and allow the nature to work with you and work through you. So that way we will be at one with the universe. So with that, let's conclude for day 29 and talk to you tomorrow. Thank you.